Well, let me start by welcoming our special guests from the nations. Thank you for joining us at this incredible event, Class of 2024, Graduation Ceremony. Thank you. I celebrate you as you embark on a new journey that can either set you apart or conform you to the old. I implore you to relentlessly pursue a future that marks you as different. To be a values-driven public leader who lives and breathes. You have to live and breathe our 3 C's. Not when it's convenient, but 24/7. Character, competence, and capacity. We're all witnesses to the negative impact of the lack of willpower and competence in carrying out effective policy and good governance in our dear country and continent at large. So as you embark on your leadership journey, please, I implore you, please, champion sustainable development, critically analyze information, engage in respectful discourse, listen to opposing views, collaborate across sectors, and most importantly, foster inclusive solutions. These are all the trainings you had during your time with us in Sppg. Do not, and I repeat, do not forget them. Arise, build, and conquer. Let's create a brighter and better Nigeria together. It starts with you, it starts with me, and it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Sppg Africa, Mrs. Alera Aida Otobo. Amazing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you are at home and you stood up, please take your seats. And if you are here as well, please do the same. Okay, so we have come, ladies and gentlemen, to that part of this event that many of you have been looking forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, in Brussels, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you to please join me in honoring Dr. Obi Obiageli Ezekwesili as she comes along with our CEO, Mrs. Alera Aida Otobo, and the Dean of the 2024 class, Dr. Abiola Abiole Afolabi. Please let's continue to welcome them warmly. 3 amazing ladies.
Thank you very much, Ayolami. This is a time we've been waiting for. Respectfully, the founder, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, our Royal Digital CEO, the chairman of Fixed Politics, past deans, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and the esteemed graduates. It is time for roll call. And with your kind permission, I can start with the roll call. Just as the CEO said, we have 235 graduates this year for the class of 2024. The 5+ for the 235 people. We have some of you here physically, and we have the rest online. I will start the roll call. Please make sure, as you hear your name, please walk to the rostrum here. Anoluwapo Ademimpe Rotimi, Abbas Abdullahi Yahaya, Abdul Aziz Isa Musa, Abdrazak Olusegun Adewale, Abimbola Islamiat Rita Abayomi, Abua Jonathan, Adekunle Ademola Shatipe, Adekunle Razak Aderibigbe, Adeola Miriam Adebisi, Adeshola yesterday, Agogo Emmanuel Ivory, Ahmed Abdulkadir Ahmed, Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, Haibote O Enahu, Aina Olusoju Adasaka, Aigbe Daniel, Akifalari Akindele Akitayo, Akini Abayami Emmanuel. Akola Wole Kende Ezekiel. Akudo Chudima Okori. Alexander Omameye Farokoto. Alpha Abid Bangura. Amaka Jane Francis Ezekiel. Amira Obayemi Azar. Andrew Olekena. Aneken Augustus Joseph.
Are we playing the music or are we having Dr. Obi? So ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our keynote speaker, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Dr. Obi Ezekwesili.
All right, this is my favorite moment. And this year it is particularly special for me. The person that I am about to introduce as your keynote speaker 2024 at the School of Politics, Policy and Governance is one that I call Izibonne. What that means is good mother, because she actually is, in my estimation, one of those younger people that you look at and you know she's an ancient. So it gives me joy not just to talk of this ancient mind, because of the level of depth and wisdom that she brings to discourse. Let us listen to the bio of your 2024 speaker. Chimamanda, not Chimamanda, Chimamanda. My God will not fail, my God will not fall. And I ask you to go and research into how that name came about. And you would further believe when I say that this one is an ancient. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie was born in Enugu, Nigeria in 1977. She grew up on the campus of the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, where her father was a professor and her mother was the first female registrar of the institution. She studied medicine for a year at Nsukka and then left for the United States at the age of 19 to continue her education on a different path. She graduated summa cum laude from the Eastern Connecticut State University with a degree in communication and political science. She has a master's degree in creative writing from Johns Hopkins University and a Master of Arts degree in African history from Yale University. She was awarded a Herder Fellowship at Princeton University for the 2005-2006 academic year and a fellowship at Radcliffe Institute of Harvard University for 2011 to 2012 academic year. In 2008, she received a MacArthur Fellowship. Those of you who know the MacArthur Fellowship know that they make fit. She has received honorary doctorate degrees from several universities across the world. Ms. Adichie's work has been translated into over 30 languages. Her first novel, Purple Hibiscus, 2003, won the Commonwealth Writers' Prize, and her second novel, Half of a Yellow Sun, 2006, prize. Her 2013 novel, Americana, won the U.S. National Book Critics Award and was named one of the New York Times top 10 best books of 2013. She has delivered 2 landmark TED Talks. Her 2009 TED Talk, The Danger of a Single Story, and her 2012 TEDx Houston Talk, We Should All Be Feminists, gathered worldwide conversation, and feminism became a topical issue because of the book published in 20. Dear Awele, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 suggestions, was published in 2017. Then she wrote the book I would say that she wrote this piece on grief, which I absolutely read and connected with at a time that I also lost my mother, who had been the soul and spirit of having me go away to spend time in reflections and leading to the research that brought about the fixed politics and the Sppg. And so I connected so much with that piece of literature, Notes on Grief. She was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world in 2015. In 2017, Fortune magazine named her one of the world's 50 greatest leaders. She's a member of both the American Academy of Arts and Letters and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. The very interesting Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie did her first children's book, Mama's Sleeping Scarf, which is illustrated in ways that any mother, especially any young mother, would connect with one of the most brilliant of our times in the world of literature. Ladies and gentlemen, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Thank you. I love the sound of the joy that I hear there. I wish I was there physically. So I want to go back to what I was saying, which is to congratulate you graduating from this wonderful program, and also to congratulate this program for existing. I mean, the idea of a program that is about creating a new kind of leadership, which I think is really essential for our country. I think that by applying to this program, what you've shown is that not only are you aware that there's so much that is not okay about the way that Nigeria is run and has been run for many years, but that you're willing to say that it's not okay and to act on it. And I want to encourage you to continue to say, it's not okay. It's not okay. There's so much that we should not be tolerating. And so as I was thinking about what to talk about today, I remembered somebody once telling me a story about a stove. So a stove. This person worked for a multinational company in Nigeria, in Lagos. And she was once telling me about her work, and she said, I have to deal with very difficult expatriates sometimes. And then she said there was one particular woman, an expatriate, she said it was very difficult so this person worked in logistics and in helping expatriates move into their homes. And so when I asked for an example of how this expatriate's difficulty manifested itself, so one of the things I now want to publicly task this graduating class to, I think one of the things you should focus on is a Nigeria where such Nigerianisms don't happen to us. And, even what's going on now in the Musa Yar'Adua Center, I think is indicative of a larger issue, which is this idea of Nigeria happening to us. And it doesn't matter how privileged you are. Nigeria can happen to you in ways that can have devastating consequences for you, which I think is why it's so important that programs like this exist, to talk about a different kind of leadership, a leadership that doesn't just think of me and my own and my people, but thinks collectively of a larger Nigeria, a Nigeria where Nigeria doesn't have to happen to any of us. I've always said that it doesn't matter that one is relatively privileged or you have a little bit more than other people. A society that has massive inequality is a society that is unsafe for everyone. It's also a society that's uncomfortable, at least for reasonable people. Life is so difficult in Nigeria now that I can only tell you I can tell you about the increase in relatives who need help. I don't want a country like that. I want a country where you don't have to help people, where people have the means of to be sufficient, where people are not owed pensions, and even those pensions themselves are insufficient, but they're still owed pensions, where the Wi-Fi connection doesn't randomly go off all the time, where things just work. Nigeria can be so much better than it is, and I think your program, even the existence of this program, I think in some ways is an act of hope. And by being in this program, you're participating in this kind of collective faith in hope. And if I'm sounding a little bit religious, it's because, of course, we know that religion is such a central factor in our country. And one of the things I would like to urge you today to do, for those of you who believe in God, is to please act more and talk less about God. There is so much talk about God. People in this country will steal money and tell you we thank God. I think it's so important for us to think about faith as a verb. And we all learned in primary school that a verb is a doing word. It's so important for us, if we're going to have a difference in leadership, if we're going to create this new Nigeria that I think most of us have imagined, it's so important that we resolve, let's not talk God, let's act God. Let us, through the things that we do, show the faith that we have. I cannot tell you how tired I am of hearing talk about God. And when you look outside and beyond the talk, there's really nothing to back it up. So I want to go back to the story that I hadn't finished telling you about a stove. I'm not quite sure at what point it cut off, but works in logistics for an international company in Lagos. Her job is to help expatriates move into their homes. And so she's talking about how some expatriates are often quite difficult. And so I asked her, tell me one of the examples of how these expatriates are difficult. And she said, well, we set up a stove in a woman's kitchen, and three of it was a stove that had 4 burners. 3 of the burners worked, 1 did not. And the woman called and was complaining. My 1 burner doesn't work. And this person who was telling me the story, this Nigerian, then says, it's okay now, at least 3 of them work. And and I remember just being struck by this story. And I thought, no, but it's not okay. And the fact that this woman has complained about this fourth burner that doesn't work doesn't make her difficult. It makes her a reasonable person. And in some ways, I think it shows how low our standards are, how we need to change what we define as a problem, what we define as okay. And I can't tell you how often I get frustrated by a certain kind of what I call a casual anyhowness. And we see it in all kinds of use. I see it in the person who I call to paint my house in Lagos. And the paint, the edges are very rough. And you say to him, Oga, see, and he says, but madam, it's okay now. But it's not okay. It's not okay. And I encourage you, and I think that the fact that you applied to this program, that you've graduated, and I'm also struck by one of the things on the website where it says, if you want to apply to this program, please check your life to make sure that you can commit, which is something I found actually very, very inspiring and endearing. And so the fact that you have checked your life and you've committed to this program and you're graduating means that. And so please continue to say it's not okay. And also continue to act it. One of the things I've learned is that feel encouraged. Change often happens by one person taking action. One small inspires somebody else to act, and then inspires somebody else to act. And that's how change happens. And so don't think there's nothing that is too small. Sometimes it's by deciding that you're going to opt out of something. And it can be something as simple as saying, I'm no longer going to throw things out. I remember once traveling I think we were traveling to my hometown in Anambra State. And you would just on the road, and you would just see people just stretch out their hands and throw rubbish out of the window. And I would think, what if we're all told not to do that? It's a small step. What if you tell around you, not am I not going to throw rubbish out, but you should not throw rubbish out. And the reason you should not do it is because it's not okay. It's not okay for all of us. Why would we want to live in filth? And so, really, to conclude, I again want to say congratulations to all of you. I regret that I'm not there with you. I had hoped that I would be able to be there physically. And I'm sorry that I'm not, because it seemed so joyful. I saw the dancing, the music, everything just seems really wonderful. And I congratulate you. And I really do, really fervently hope that for you, this is only a beginning. And that what Auntie Obi Kwesili and all the people around this program, I really hope that their vision is something that we will come to see come alive in our lifetime. Thank you.
We are so grateful to you, our dear Chimamanda. An incredible mind. A woman with power of word. Very fearless. Doesn't care to speak to be loved. Doesn't want to be praised, but to simply be a voice that calls out for justice, for inclusive society, for a society that works. A person who is not given to inanities. Very deep mind. And for this and for so much that she has done to bring amazing glory to not just this land, not just the continent, but to the race that we all come from. I think she's really deserving of a serious round of applause. Class of 2024.